collecting my emotions. So my name is Dan, and I have known Lindsay and Josh for 12 or 13 years. Lindsay first, then Josh later. When I first saw him, I thought, those forearms, I must possess them. So I know Lindsay through the poetry community. Everything you just heard was really beautiful, and now I'm up here. I have not written a poem in so long, and Lindsay said, you should come out here and you should write a poem. I don't know what this is that I've written. It's really long. It's not that long.
I'm into it.
It's about 45 minutes. Listen, when you stood up here earlier and they were behind you, I was like, you know those people pretty well. Like, I know Lee, but I don't know these two dudes. And if they gotta stand behind me, like, rough for them. So this thing, this is the title. This is a love poem from Lindsay to Josh and Josh to Lindsay, which neither one of them wrote and in which neither one of them are involved or even mentioned. So really it's just some words that I wrote down that might have something to do with the bond of true love, but we'll find out because at the point of writing this title, I have yet to write the poem, so I'll see what happens by the end of this poem. And then I'll know what I wrote about, and you can decide if it's about the bond of true love.
Classic Leamen.
Thank you. I should interject, you guys really do represent true love. I come and visit them like once a year and I see their family and I'm like, fuck. Kids are beautiful, they're beautiful, Josh's forearm. Okay. You are the ham of my life. No, that's not the opening line. Hold on. Oh, here, yep. You are the ham of my life. All right, that must be it. Here we go. You are the ham of my life, glistening and spiral cut. Served at meals in traditional Western societies like Christmas and sometimes Thanksgiving as an alternative to the turkey. This is just really a description of attributes of ham when it's eaten. Here are a list of famous people who are hams. Steve Carell, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Meatloaf. No, wait a minute. No, he's a... Yeah. Well, it appears he is made with some pork. It's like it says half a pound of pork, 1 pound of ground beef, 3 eggs, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, an onion, chopped, oregano, parsley. Then you mix it, you put it in a loaf tin, and you bake it for about 55 minutes at 3. Does that sound right, Paul?
Yeah, that's
Groucho Marx, Rachel Brosnahan, Lily. See, now I've changed the definition of ham. I was talking about the food, and these are just people who are funny. Ham is the first set of letters and words such as hammer or Hamlet, which is a small human settlement, or names such as Hamish. which is a Scottish name. I actually wrote this on paper. You may think I'm having some sort of break for you. Hamas is a Scottish name, and for those of you who don't know, Scotland is a country that is above England if you look at a map that is right side up. Also, if you live in England, or if you believe that north is up, which is kind of crazy, because we live on a rock that is spinning really fast on its axis while orbiting a ball of constantly occurring nuclear fusion reactions at the center of our solar system, which orbits in the arm of a galaxy that contains hundreds of billions of stars in a universe in which there are hundreds of billions of galaxies, and which is only one dimension in an infinite dimensional existence. So is there really an up? It just seems like there's kind of an everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't plan that part, a little ad-lib. The letter H is short for a number of words. In my head I said, should I have edited this? Undecided. Such as house and hammer. I already used that one. Also, the word am is short for who I am. Here is a tale of old. When I originally wrote this, I did a voice for this part. I feel really awkward about doing it. Should I do the voice? Yeah, they would all say, yeah, you fucking embarrass yourself, pal. I'm going immediately out the fucking doors when this is done. Like, I don't want to make eye contact with these human beings for at least 20 minutes so they just forget it happened. You asked for this! A long time ago! In a land much like this one. Well, pretty much it was different, but it was in fact this one. It was just a long time ago. There was a man born of mystical birth. Well, really, he was just born a village over, and the people who wrote this story and passed it down had never been to that village from over, and so it was like mystical to them, and they were like, ooh, what goes on in that village? Maybe they have tea for dinner and steak for breakfast. Maybe their chickens have wool and their sheep lay eggs. What the fuck? Who knows? It's a mystical village. So anyway, this man was born. He was foretold. Mostly because his mother became pregnant and said, I think in about 9 months I will have a baby. And everyone said, ooh, she has foretold it. This man grew up, and one day he was walking, and he saw before him a ham. And he said, whoa, you are like the ham of legend, and you make me heir. But really back then they didn't have heirs to anything. He actually meant hair, but they didn't have a word for hair, and he didn't know that because they didn't have a word for it. So he didn't know that that's what he was wanting to say because it wasn't possible, because the word hair hadn't been invented yet. It was long ago. And then a beautiful woman approached and said, what are you doing? And he said, I have seen the ham of legend that will make me heir. And she said, I feel like the voice has changed 18 times. Whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. And she said, that's not a ham, that's a rock. And he squinted his eyes and he blinked. That is the sound of blinking. Everyone knows that. It's universal. And then he stopped speaking in the voice he'd been speaking in, which I didn't actually do, but let's continue. He stopped speaking in this voice because he was no longer burdened by being the child of the legend, and he said, oh fuck, you're right, that's as a rock. And he looked over at the woman and he said, but you can see like with like the light, and it's kind of pinkish, and like the shape, you could like think it's a ham. And she looked at him and she said, yeah, I guess, but probably not. But okay. And then he took a rock and he threw it at the ham rock. I think I hurt my ankle just by speaking that out loud. And the rock went click, like click. And he said, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a ham, but clearly it's not. Like that snapped like two rocks hitting each other. And the woman sat down near a bush. And in conclusion, put your hands together and raise a glass, and all hail the ham.